Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's PC Matic Town Hall. My name is Corey Munson. I am Vice President of Sales and Marketing here at PC Matic. I'd like to first start by thanking all of you for taking the time to join us, number one. And number two, thank you for your continued support. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of being in business as PC Matic, and we wouldn't be able to accomplish anything that we've accomplished without you, our customers, and our clients. So we definitely appreciate that support. And in an effort to better communicate with our customers on an ongoing basis, what we've decided to do is set up these town halls. And we hope to conduct these on a fairly regular basis for a few reasons. One, we want this to be as informative as possible and as insightful as possible, and give you the opportunity to better put PCmatic to use for yourself and for your family. In some cases, we're going to be talking today about products you may not have, that you may not even be aware that PCmatic offers, and some services that we offer as well. So some of you, I know there's a cross section from literally across the globe and hundreds of you logging in today. Some of you may have these products already. Some of you may not have these products or services. It's at least going to give you the visibility into what these products and services are. And at the end, we'll definitely let you know how you're able to take advantage of them even more. We want this session to be as interactive as possible. So I'd ask if you take a few seconds here to look at your GoToWebinar console that you logged in through. You should see an icon with a question mark. If you click on that, it'll give you the ability to actually submit a question or a comment directly to us as presenters and as organizers. And we're going to do our best to get to as many of those questions as we possibly can over the course of the next 45 minutes or so. Now, if you submit something and we are not able to get to that question or concern, keep in mind we will make a point of following up with you offline soon and get you some answers to what your question might be. So if you even want to test that out, find that question mark, click on it, play around with typing something in if you want to type in where you're logging in from, or what if you're drinking coffee or something, like whatever. Send us a message just to let us know that it's working, and gives you a way to interact going forward. So today I brought to the table here some of my teammates who are directly responsible for the development of some of the products we're going to talk about today, and also directly responsible for the support of these products. So these are the people that have their hands on the products and services we're going to discuss, and they've been either directly responsible for developing them or supporting them for quite some time. So the three things we're going to cover today. Number one, we're going to talk about PC Matic and the latest and greatest version of PC Matic that some of you may have already upgraded to and may be using. Others you may still be on an older version. And we'll talk about that transition and how that's been going. But we wanted to at least bring you some highlights as to what to expect out of this latest and greatest version of PC Matic. Secondly, we're going to talk about PC Matic VPN. If some of you on this call already have VPN, maybe we're going to share some information about features and elements of the product that you haven't taken advantage of. Others may not even know what VPN is. We're going to go ahead and define that for you and let you know why it's an important addition to your security posture at home. And lastly, we're going to talk about something called Support Unlimited. It's an upgraded level of service that we've offered for quite some time that extends far beyond PCmatic. It's actually a level of support that could cover any number of connected devices in your home, your office, or wherever you might be. And we're going to talk a little bit about what that is and what's all included within that service. So to get us started, we've got John Farley. John Farley is one of our senior developers who's been working very, very closely on the PC Matic, what we've called 5.0 version, which is the upgraded newer version of PC Matic. I asked John to put together a few slides and share with you, one, if you currently have the upgraded version, what to be on the lookout for, or two, if you are going to be upgrading sometime in the future, some of the cool new features that make it an even more powerful product and even more important for your overall security. So I'm going to make sure that the screen share works here, and we're going to give John a chance to get started. All right, I think we're ready to go, John, as long as you can see what you need to see there.
That looks good to me. Thanks, Corey.
Hmm.
And thanks everyone for showing up. So when we started to rebuild PC Matic, we had two primary goals in mind. The first one was to create a powerful modern user experience that we wanted to automate a lot of the repetitive tasks, and we wanted to put more useful information in front of the user. And the second primary goal was to integrate our growing consumer product line into a single cohesive user interface. So the first part of that goal you can see in front of you. It, if you're coming from PC Matic 4, you can see that there's a lot more going on here. We've got this great modern user interface that brings in a lot of new information that was available in PC Matic 4, but only after a few clicks. So what we've added, right away you see more device detail up front, including near real-time hardware performance. And if you look at the current performance there, that's a snapshot of how your PC is doing, as how it's performing at the moment that you load up the dashboard. And then we've also put the scan button front and center, clearly visible. So anytime you want to run a scan, it's right there, and you can click it at any moment. And then we've also, once you do run that scan, we've added the scan reports right there on the dashboard. So once that scan runs or a scheduled scan runs, when you come to the dashboard, the last report is going to be right there. You can click on that and see the most recent scan report. We've also moved the recently blocked applications to the forefront. They've always been in PC Matic, at least through PC Matic 4, but it was a few clicks to get there, and a lot of our customers probably didn't understand what that was. So really, it highlights the foundation of our protection. When you install PC Matic, we also install what's called Super Shield, and Super Shield runs in the background, and it's always monitoring running applications or applications that you click on to run, and it blocks anything that it doesn't recognize. So bringing the recently blocked applications to the forefront shows you what Super Shield is doing in the background when you're not even at your computer. It's still working to protect your computer. And finally, we also added some cybersecurity news and tips. The latest blog will give you, the latest threats that are out there, what you can do about them, how PC Matic is protecting you from them. Also, tips to avoid scams that are going on. So that's just a helpful bit of information on the dashboard there. Some new features. So we're starting with scheduled scans, which are certainly not a new feature. They've been around since the beginning of PC Matic. But the first thing people notice when they go into PC Matic 5 is that there's no option to create a daily scheduled scan. And so we constantly get questions, what happened to the daily scans? And the answer is we're already doing it for you. When you launch PC Matic, we set up what is called a daily health check, and it automatically runs it runs every day to basically monitor and optimize the system. It's a quick scan to make sure that everything is running as it should be, and that just happens automatically. So you don't even have to think about daily scans anymore. They're basically obsolete. We're just doing it. If you want to get a more in-depth malware scan, like a full system scan, you can set up a weekly scan or a monthly scan. We recommend that. But as far as the day-to-day stuff, you no longer have to worry about it. It's already happening. Another new feature is we've integrated our help desk. So on the right there, you see a box. Anytime you run into an issue or you have a question about PC Matic, you can click the icon in the lower right corner and it will bring up our integrated help desk. And that'll bring up the knowledge base. You can ask your question there, and the knowledge base will shoot back any answers that it might be related. And if you can't find what you're looking for, Corey, if you go to the next one. If you can't find what you're looking for, you can open a ticket right there in the UI, and this will go right to support. They can start resolving your issue right away, and it will also keep a running tab of your opened tickets any tickets you've opened, anything that's been resolved, will still be available here right in the UI. One of my favorite new features, and this one is by popular demand. With PC Matic 4, a lot of our customers were asking for the ability to zoom in, to enlarge the font. And PC Matic 4, when PC Matic 4 was built, the technology wasn't there. With this new version, we got to implement an actual zoom feature. So if you compare the default font size on the left to the zoomed font size on the right, and you can see the zoom feature there in the menu. It's drastically different, and you can zoom in and out as much as you want. There's really no limitation, so you can zoom to wherever you're comfortable. All right, the second primary goal was to integrate all of our consumer products into one user interface. We found that as we were adding consumer products, it was becoming a little cumbersome, because every time you add a new product to your account, you have to download another bit of software that runs on the computer. You have to worry about running it. You have to worry about maintaining it, managing it. And it was becoming unwieldy for the customer, especially as we continue to add consumer products. So the second primary goal was to bring all of those products into one cohesive user interface. And on the left-hand side there, you will see the highlighted icons. The top icons are our current consumer product line. So security is PC Matic, as you know and love. And then we have our VPN, and then privacy, which was formerly known as PC Magnum, is now PC Matic Privacy, and Support Unlimited. And I'm going to go through each of these separately. So this is PC Matic Privacy. It's integrated right with PC Matic Security. If you're a PC Magnum customer, you're going to get this now. This is the new PC Magnum. We're calling it PC Matic Security. And this software is a browser privacy software. So every time you use your web browser, websites are putting cookies on your computer. The browser is keeping your history. It's downloading all these cached images, lots of junk. These websites are just throwing tons of junk on your computer. When you run a scan with PC Matic Privacy, it goes into those browsers and wipes out that data. So the data is not stored. If somebody happens to get a hold of your computer, they can't get that data. It's just gone. So every time you start your browser again, it's a new browser experience. It's starting fresh. And with that in mind, we thought that our privacy customers might be interested in a built-in private browser. So instead of worrying about what Chrome is doing to your computer, what Firefox or Edge are doing to your computer, you can click the Launch Secure Browser button, and that will bring up the next slide, which is the PC Matic browser. This is built into PC Matic Privacy, formerly PC Magnum, and you can use this as you would any other browser. The difference is, as soon as you close it, it's automatically going to clean itself. It's going to forget its history. It's going to wipe itself out. And so the next time you go to use it, it's a brand new browser session. And finally, well, not finally, Support Unlimited is, Jeff York is going to go more into this, but I wanted to talk about the integration. The integration here is really, you have access to the phone number, brings that up to you right away. Because it is more phone and chat support, there's not a whole lot to integrate, but the information is there when you need it if you have a Support Unlimited license. And that's okay, you can go without the VPN, that's fine. That's the next thing. And finally, the VPN is not yet fully integrated because it is such a complex application, but integration is currently underway, and it's well underway. I would expect to have full integration in the next couple of months. So right now, VPN is still a standalone product, but when you hit the VPN icon in PC Matic UI, it will search your system for the standalone product, and if it finds it, it will launch it. If it doesn't find it, it will automatically start the download and initiate the installation of the standalone product. So, you can still access the VPN from inside the UI. It's just not tightly integrated yet. But again, that is coming, and Stu is going to give you a lot more information about the VPN. New in the UI, we've also added more user management. So you can go to your account tab and you can see your subscriptions, what you've purchased from PC Matic. You can manage your auto renewal. You can download any standalone software like the VPN if you need to. And you can also manage your email and password right inside the UI. So, we've given a lot more control, and yeah, that's fine. That really segues into the next slide. So yeah, by combining all of our security products into a single user interface, PC Matic is evolving into this robust cybersecurity solution. And we're just going to keep rolling out more and more features and applications as we go forward. And with that, that's it for me for in PC Matic. So I'm going to hand it back over to Corey to introduce Stu.
You got it. And John, before we jump to Stu, can we address the rollout of PC Medic 5? So,
Mhm.
assuming that we may have some people on the call that have yet to make the transition, can you talk through that timeline a little bit about when they might expect that or how that will go?
So we've PCmatic 5 is available immediately for all new users. PCmatic 4 users have been who are running Windows 10 have been invited, have been given the option to upgrade, and I think the ratio to people who've chosen to upgrade versus not is about 2 to 1. So probably in the next couple of months, probably when the VPN is ready, then we'll uh, be asking all customers all Windows 10 customers to upgrade to PCmatic 5. So yeah, like in the next, I'd say the next 2 months or so,
There you
it'll
go.
be
And
mandatory.
sure. And if you haven't made the upgrade and you're interested in making the upgrade sooner, you can reach out to support and they can discuss what those options may be. The other thing
Mhm.
before we jump to Stu and talk more about VPN, I just want to clarify for everyone what John is showing in that new integrated dashboard, the VPN product, the support unlimited, the privacy product. Those are all additional products on top of PC Matic. They're
Yes.
designed to complement what PC Matic is doing. So they're all going to be inside one dashboard and a heck of a lot easier to manage and use, but they are separate products and require a separate license as well. Just point of clarification for everybody before we jump to next up is Stu Thompson. Stu works very closely with our support team from our consumer customers to our B2B customers. And today I asked him to come to the table with some information about our VPN product. It is quickly becoming one of our most popular products offered by PC Matic. And what I asked Stu was really to kind of lay out for us what exactly it does, functions, and why it's important to have this in addition to something like PC Matic and how PC Matic works to lock down what's actually running on your system. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Stu, and Stu, I'll drive your slides from here.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Corey. Yeah, so basically, I'll really just go over some of the basics of what a VPN is and how PCMatic's VPN complements your device security. So to start, let's start with the basics on what a VPN is. Um, a VPN stands for Virtual Private Network, and it's a service that allows you to create a secure connection to another network over the internet. So think of it as a private tunnel for your online activity, which hides your IP address and encrypts your data. So an IP address is that unique number that identifies each device on a network, kind of like the home address for your computer on the internet. So a VPN keeps that, masks that, and keeps that private. So when you're browsing the internet, the sites you visit, the places you go, can't track back to see where your home device is on the internet. So this means that your internet service provider, the websites you visit, potential hackers can't see your online activity. So by using a VPN, you can browse the web more privately and more securely than without. So how does let's talk about how a VPN works without getting too technical. Um, this diagram here kind of shows the basics of how a VPN functions. From your device, you connect to the VPN client or the application that's on the device. And then that VPN encrypts the data being sent through your ISP to our VPN servers. And so from there, the data is transferred to the various websites you connect to online. And what that does is what you see in green essentially is that tunnel, that encrypted tunnel that's created by a VPN. So that way, the websites you connect with, your ISP, and things like that don't see the details about your device, the location, etc. Instead, they see that data is coming from the VPN server. So the VPN encrypts and routes your internet traffic, and your ISP, third parties, potential hackers that might be on the network snooping for information can't see what you're doing online. All that they see is that you're connected to a VPN server, and then that's where that traffic is coming from. So essentially, the VPN server itself acts as a mask for you on the internet. And that's what is seen by all the destinations that you're reaching out to, is that VPN server is who's connecting with them versus you. So it provides that layer of anonymity and privacy to you when you reach out on the web. So the next question to be asked is, why use a VPN? There's a few main reasons on why you might want to consider using a VPN. First off is that privacy. A VPN masks your IP address, making it impossible for websites, advertisers, even your ISP to track, your online activities. It keeps that data encrypted, so they're not seeing what's being sent and what you're interacting with to roll ads to you, or hackers, especially if you're on a public Wi-Fi network, to sniff out what's going on. Second is security. By encrypting that data that's being transmitted, it protects it, especially on public Wi-Fi networks where the anyone can connect to the network, and there's potential security risks there with people potentially snooping the network and looking for that data being transmitted over the public Wi-Fi network. By utilizing a VPN, you are encrypting that data as it's being transmitted from your device out to the internet. So that can't be picked up on by hackers. It also allows you to do things like access geographically based content. So if you want to stream something or visit websites that are primarily locked down to certain areas of the globe, you can you can connect to a server that is in their geographical region and connect to that website or stream that content. It allows you to essentially be anywhere in the world that you kind of want to be, to engage with content that might be available in one country but not available in your own, or vice versa. If you're traveling overseas and you want to reach back and connect to something something hosted in America that might not be available in the countries that you're connecting with, or that you're traveling to, you can log into a VPN server that is stationed in America and encrypt your traffic, encrypt your data, for one, over the networks that you're visiting, you're using in foreign countries, but also to act as if you were back at home. And that's the location that's going to be presented when you engage with those websites back at home while you're away. So it gives you the opportunity to both stay secure while traveling abroad, private while traveling abroad, but also function as if you were back at home. So that way your experience with the websites that you visit is the exact same as if you were browsing from home. Additionally, it allows you to avoid censorship. If you are in a country that potentially, censors, what's going on online by connecting to a VPN that is um, hosted elsewhere, or to a server that's hosted elsewhere, you can, bypass some of those restrictions and make sure you're accessing the free web and engaging with all of the content without censorship. So that's essentially what a VPN does and why they're good to be added to your, security applications. Why PC Matic VPN? And with so many different options available, why choose PC Matic for your VPN? Because it checks all the boxes that you would want in a VPN and then some. So you can confidently use public Wi-Fi securely, shield your personal data from your ISP, snoopers on public Wi-Fi, mask your IP address. So when you're out there and engaging, with content on the internet, you're not giving away who you are and where you are. PC Matic's VPN has a lightning fast connection, and so we're definitely test out at the top range of VPN providers. Um, we've got a commitment to never logging or tracking your data. We do not store it. We do not keep it. We do not see it. That information is encrypted end to end, and you can be confident that there's no logging or tracking your data. What you do when you engage your VPN, that privacy is complete privacy. It's easy to use. You can log in, one click gets you connected to the closest and fastest servers available, and that's always changing. So as servers, become faster and more, there's more available connections. That one click connect is always going to be getting you connected to the fastest server, making it extremely easy to just install and get going. On top of that, though, we also have, a bunch of features that you can engage with that, make your VPN experience, better. You can turn on auto reconnect, as well as a kill switch that will ensure that you're always staying connected to the VPN. And if for some reason the VPN drops out, or you disconnect, it also disconnects you from the Wi-Fi, so that way you're not accidentally transmitting, your private data over a public network. So if the VPN if you were to shut down your VPN, close your VPN, or when you restart your computer, it would automatically reconnect, just to ensure that when you are, especially visiting public Wi-Fi and you're connecting to the internet, that the VPN is always on, and always keeping that data secure. We've got various protocols, WireGuard, OpenVPN, that are included, and more information can be seen in our user documentation for those. But that allows you to have the latest and the fastest available protocols for the VPN to keep it running as fast as possible and your connections as secure as possible. Split tunneling is included, so in case you do have some issues with a certain website that doesn't like you being connected via VPN. Now, this sometimes happens to where a website wouldn't like you utilizing a VPN. You can turn on split tunneling, and essentially what split tunneling does, it says use the VPN for everything else but this website or this application. And that allows you to utilize your regular internet connection for that website or that application, while keeping everything else running through the VPN.
Are you protected from the latest cyber threats? PC Matic protects 5 devices for $50 for 1 year, with a full 30-day money-back guarantee. Receive antivirus protection, US-based email support, and dark web monitoring. Secure your Windows and Mac computers, iPhones, iPads, Android smartphones, and tablets. Don't be the next victim. Get protected today. Go to PCMatic.com.
That and tons more features that are available now and will be added as technology advances. So the in conclusion, to wrap things up, not only is a VPN a powerful tool for enhancing your online privacy and security, it, keeping you safe on public Wi-Fi. Oh, I guess I actually missed something. Thanks, Corey, for bringing that up. Just to point out too what supported operating systems are available. The previous slide showed, PC Matic VPN is available for Windows 10 and 11, Mac OS, Mojave, and newer. And then for mobile devices, we support both Android and iOS and iPad OS as well. So for iOS, it's 14 and newer, and Android, it's version 5 and newer. So you can keep all of your devices protected, both your desktop, laptops, and mobile devices. Have your VPN installed and have that confidence that your data is being transmitted, encrypted, and secure and privately. And like John mentioned, not only does PC Matic bring those features, we're also, for our Windows version, we're bringing that into our integrated application there. So it'll be considerably easier to use and launch on your Windows computers. And I think that's pretty much all I have, Corey.
Great stuff, Stu. Stu, a couple of times you referenced public Wi-Fi, and knowing that a lot of people are traveling, and I had this conversation just this week. There's somewhat of a risk as you travel. Let's say you're logging into a public Wi-Fi at the airport, or even Wi-Fi on a plane.
Yeah.
Having a VPN installed on your device does give you a measure of protection in those settings. It's not just public Wi-Fi at Starbucks or someplace else. Especially those that
Yeah.
are traveling could take advantage of this.
Yeah, definitely. And you don't, it's in kind of in the reverse too. You don't have to think of yourself as needing to be a world traveler in order to utilize a VPN. It is at the local Starbucks or coffee shop or other, McDonald's restaurants, wherever you're getting a free internet connection where there's no password required. There's the potential that someone else is utilizing that public Wi-Fi to snoop and try to access the data that's being sent over that network. So yeah, wherever you are utilizing public Wi-Fi, it's always a good recommendation to utilize a VPN to ensure what you're transmitting is encrypted and secure and private.
Yeah, important information, and as convenient as public Wi-Fi is, again, it's best to approach it with a healthy dose of caution, and having a tool in place like VPN will definitely help. That's great stuff, Stu. So next up is Jeff York. Jeff, again, works directly with our support teams, both on the home and business side. But what I asked Jeff to do today was to cover an elevated level of service that we have offered, began to offer a couple of years ago based on feedback we received directly from customers like you that happen to be logged in today. The thing I want to really emphasize before turning it over to Jeff is, on a very consistent basis, the feedback that we get from customers that are renewing with us every year is that they really appreciate the basic level of support that comes at no additional cost with the product. And it's all email based, and the email communication happens back and forth directly between the customers and an actual support representative on our side. And it's very efficient and can address just about any possible problem. We definitely have had some customers who have asked for the ability to speak to someone going forward. That's one of the reasons we started Support Unlimited. And the nice part is it goes above and beyond just being able to have someone to talk to about PC Matic. Jeff's going to explain how this goes to just about any connected device you may have around your house or your office or whatever the case may be. So, Jeff, it's all yours.
All right. Thank you, Corey. That was an excellent introduction. Some of you may already know me. If you've ever had a ticket that is, or an issue that has gone off the rails, usually I will be the one to help resolve that issue for you. So you may already recognize my name. But I am Jeff York. I am the Director of Technical Support for both PC Matic Home and PC Matic Pro, which is our enterprise version. So the first thing I would like to actually clear a few pieces of confusion up, because we did just bring Support Unlimited on board about 3 years ago, working on our fourth year actually. It's hard to believe it's been so long, but um, we have added since then we've added many different iterations. We've kind of tinkered with our support offering to kind of find the best blend and what will help our customers the most. And so first, let me just, as Corey pointed out, when you purchase PC Matic, this isn't to say that you have to purchase this product for us to help you with the program. As Corey pointed out, we do offer you an email support desk service for all PC Matic related issues with a basic PC Matic license. Um, in our the emails, all of your tickets go into a help desk where they're actually answered by a real live human, a representative, and we're all U.S. based certified technicians here. So that's one thing that a lot of other companies cannot offer with support, is that we are all U.S. based and we are actual human beings. We have not gone the AI route. Next thing, if you do purchase PC Matic and the PC Matic VPN, which Stu just alluded to, we actually give you the option of a limited phone support service. So what that limited means, obviously, it's Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. You could call the number on your receipt, and they will be able to give you phone or anything PC Matic related. So what's different about the support unlimited and the limited support is the hours, obviously, and then also the scope of what we can help you with. So with the limited support, we only help you with PC Matic, PC Matic VPN, anything that has the PC Matic name on it, we will help you with over the phone. And that just comes standard if you purchase the PC Matic program and the PC Matic VPN, as a whole. And we do have a bundle available that has that. Um, and then the next thing is Support Unlimited, and that is 24/7 access for every single thing that is tech related. And I think this is a misconception. Also, many feel that if we are offering this, that we're trying to tell you that you have to pay for the support for our product. That is absolutely not the case. This is more for those of you who have, like most of us, tons of tech items that have sort of accumulated over the years in your household. And as all tech items typically do, they break. And rather than either go out and buy a new one or sit around and wait for somebody to come help us or search the internet for a relevant article, you could have access to somebody that you could just pick up the phone at any time, and they'll walk you right through how to fix whatever issues you may have. So that is the biggest difference between our basic support, limited support with VPN, and then support unlimited. So here's a couple more things you might not know about Support Unlimited. It is one thing that people don't often use it for, is it can be used as a coaching tool. So that doesn't mean you have to have a problem. So say you are, you see an article or a news story about a new threat or something that pops up on the something that pops up on the TV, and everybody, and they say, be careful, be on the lookout for this. You could call up the Support Unlimited crew and ask them, hey, just want to give a quick security check. How am I doing? Could you look at my stuff and make sure that I don't have anything to worry about with the latest threats? Or if you just, hey, I would like to buy a new computer and a new router. What would you think would be the best combination? Anything tech related, you can get coaching and mentoring about. And they're more than happy to guide you through just about any question you have. Everybody on the Support Unlimited team is also US based, and they are CompTIA certified technicians. So this is also this is a very big selling point. A lot of companies don't have this as well. I believe the only one that does have US based support would be Geek Squad, and I believe they're $100 more than what we are currently. Um, we also have data recovery options. So this is another thing that often people do not realize comes along with Support Unlimited. And data data recovery is a completely separated service in most circles. So a lot of people pay for antivirus, they pay for a VPN, and then they also have to pay for a data recovery software. Because sometimes the best defense against a threat is to, if you are infected, just go ahead and back up to the last point you weren't infected from, and then don't pay those ransomware people, or don't, just don't give them any credence. You just move right on and back up to the safest point that you have saved on file. Um, and then you can also, here's another one, and this is the last one I'll end on. And I actually have a pretty funny example that, or not funny, but useful example that kind of outlines this last statement. But you could call for issues with smart devices, from doorbells to TVs to whatever you have that's smart, toasters. I don't know. There are so many different things nowadays. Your Nest thermostat. If it is a technological item that is on the fritz, you can call the Support Unlimited team and get help with that. So, and I alluded to the fact that I had an example. So we just recently, just before this town hall, I had jotted down a case that we had just worked with one of our customers, and I'll just say their name is Beth. We have not gathered any approval to put her name on here, but we'll call her Beth. And she had recent health issues, and she had trouble hearing, and she also liked to paint, and she painted in her back room. And so she had trouble hearing if anybody came to the door because of the way her old doorbell system was set up. So her daughter saw on the TV. She said, "Let me get this Ring door system," and the Ring door system will ring if there's a visitor to your phone. So that means she could go to any room in her house. She could go outside her backyard if she wanted to and paint, and she would see that somebody was at her front door because it would ring to her phone. Well, like I had said before, as everything tech related often does, it did break. And then she was stuck without, any means of getting the doorbell to work again. So that meant she would have to quit um, painting and go back to the same situation she started from, or buy a new Ring doorbell. Well, luckily, she had already had uh, Support Unlimited, and she had contacted us initially to say, would this be something they could help me with? And I said, most certainly. And she called them, and turns out it was just a simple update that had broken the network connections between her phone and her router, and they quickly resolved the issue, and she was back up and running in no time. And that typically would have been something, it was such a weird little nuanced thing that happened. You could have probably searched all day on the internet and never found that solution. And who knows how long it would have taken for you to find somebody to give you the correct advice to fix that. So you would either be faced with the situation of purchasing a new system, which they're not cheap, or just doing without, which is, if there is a solution that item is supposed to be solving, doing without is not a very good option. So just to wrap things up, that is the sort of thing that I think a lot of people are not understanding, that comes along with Support Unlimited. You just get that freedom of having some sort of a tech guru. If you don't have one living close by, not everybody does. Luckily, my family has me, but not everybody not everybody has a tech guru close by. And it just gives you a little peace of mind that you can go forth and do whatever you want tech related, and not get stuck by a simple problem. But that's all I have for that.
Jeff, I think one of the fascinating things to me about Support Unlimited has been the different, again, you talk about case studies or use cases of people purchasing this not only for themselves, but for other people. I know for a
Right.
fact that we've had folks that have purchased this for their parents. And instead
Mhm.
of their parents calling them all the time for questions about the computer or whatever the case may be, this would give the parents a lifeline to call. I know we've had cases where parents are sending kids off to college and don't want those kids to have to depend on the help desk at the college to help set up the new printer they just bought them, or the router, or whatever the case may be. This would help there. Not to mention the kids at home. If a lot of these kids end up being the tech support for the home, but
Right. Right.
if you want a little I guess, additional support for your kids at home, that's a possibility too. So you don't necessarily have to be a PC Matic customer owning any of the other products to purchase this. You can purchase this as a standalone and purchase it for someone else. And if you're confused at all about what access to currently as a part of your current licenses, that's again something our support team can help you sort out and let you know what the upgrade options are and what the additional possibilities are. So it's an exciting possibility for those who want a little additional level of support and be able to talk to someone. But just to reiterate, this by no means indicates that you don't have really good support that is just standard included with every PC Matic product you get. It just happens to be communication happens to be through email. So with that, and we move through those three things we really wanted to be able to highlight for you, I'll open it up to any questions or comments you have. If you want to submit them through the question feature there, we'll try to get to as many of these as we possibly can. Let me try to exit out of the slideshow here. We'll kill that off. And we've got any number of questions. Let's see here. Let me open up let's see here. Okay, there's a question from Frederick. He would like to know, he says he has PC Matic 5 with Super Shield. Should I consider adding antivirus? You know what? I think this is a great time to reiterate exactly what PC Matic with Super Shield is. John, do you want to take a swing at that?
Yeah, no, it's a great misconception. Thanks for asking that question, Frederick. Um, so you have PC Matic 5, you have Super Shield, you have the antivirus. PC Matic 5 is the antivirus, it's the malware scan. Super Shield is the underlying protection, which almost makes malware scan obsolete because it's protecting your computer before there's an issue. So you're good to go with that. Um,
Awesome. Yeah, and it is a common misconception. So we hear from a lot of people saying, I've already got an antivirus. Do I need PC Matic? And we can definitely explain why PC Matic is an upgrade on the antivirus you currently have. But a question from Vaughn. He says, I have never used a public Wi-Fi site. Do I still need a VPN? Stu, are there reasons you would still need a VPN if you're not a big public Wi-Fi user?
Yeah, that's probably its best use and main use scenario is public Wi-Fi. But there's the other reasons as well in terms of where where you're visiting and what they're receiving about you. And that's the last or the next step, I guess, in that encryption and privacy part. So the first step is from your computer to to the router slash ISP, and if that's your home, well secured Wi-Fi, then that's good. That if you have a good and well secured wireless setup that no one else is able to access or gain control of, because you've got a good security and password and encryption set up in that sense. The next step is where it goes from when it leaves your ISP, in terms of the websites and them receiving the data, like your IP address, which gives your general location and details like that out, as well as the websites that you visit and how they can track you in terms of your location and your visitation history and that and what they're able to do with that, in terms of advertising and things like that. So that's the next point. If you're comfortable with that, then you might not want to utilize a VPN. But if you would like that additional level of privacy once your data leaves your ISP, or even for your ISP, maybe you don't want your ISP just knowing every site that you visit and every all the data that you transmit. So that's the first stage is protecting your data from your device, out to your ISP, and that's where a VPN comes in and protecting you in a public Wi-Fi setting, especially. But then there's that second stage is after it leaves your ISP and reaches out to the sites that you visit and things. And do you want to retain some anonymity and privacy when to those websites and things like that? So
Yeah, Stu, and I know
good
Jeff.
question.
Yeah, it was a great question. I know Jeff kind of mentioned online shopping, and Stu, you kind of alluded to that. There's even been some speculation that pricing may fluctuate based on where you're logging in from, or if they're detecting you're in a particular location, your pricing may vary. So being able to again hide that location, you may actually be saving yourself some money or opening yourself up to some better deals along the way. Jeff
Right. Yeah.
even just mentioned streaming as well. That's kind of like maybe a bit of a fine line in a gray area, but it may allow you to access some streaming services you wouldn't normally be able to access from your location.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see here. Other questions. We did have a question, John, that they wanted us to just kind of restate the rollout of PC Matic 5 and when, if they don't currently have access to it or they haven't been prompted to upgrade, when they should possibly expect that. Could we talk about that again?
Sure. If you haven't been prompted to upgrade, it's likely your device is not compatible. If you're running less than Windows 10, so Windows 8, Windows 7, those devices are not compatible with the new PC Matic 5. But you can continue to use PC Matic 4 and still have the same protection. It's not as pretty. It's yeah. So PC Matic 5 is it's strictly for Windows 10, 64-bit and above. So if you haven't been prompted, it's likely your device is not compatible.
But to your point, the security is just as robust and just as
Yes.
effective on both products. It just happens to be the management. The interface is, like you said, it's a bit prettier with
Yeah.
5, but
Exactly.
security is just as good as always.
Yes. With the PC Matic 4 just doesn't have the integration. But as far as security goes, it's the same foundation.
Sure. Jeff, this one's going to be for you. There's a question from Bob. He's talking about removing an older antivirus product. Is that something that our support team can help with, or the Support Unlimited folks can help walk people through, is how to get rid of the old antivirus product they had maybe prior to PC Matic?
Yeah, yeah, we can definitely assist with that. We have several tools that will just make it probably a lot easier. An uninstaller tool as opposed to going through the headache of doing it through the Windows tools. But yeah, we could definitely help you with that. Of course, as we had indicated, it would be via email, and we'll be able to guide you through exactly how to remove it. And the important thing to remember with the email support, the more details you give about what you are seeing, the more concise the instructions will be returned to you, because we're not having to generalize specific, a set of instructions that could be used on a broad scope. But if you specifically kind of narrow it down, we can narrow down the instructions we send to you, which would be a lot more useful. So yeah, anything you have an issue with PC Matic or getting PC Matic to run, we can help you with. So if it's something prohibiting PC Matic from running, as long as it's not like the operating system or Windows, because Microsoft is their own is their own deal. Nobody can really do anything about what they're doing. But Support Unlimited could probably help you with that if it is a Microsoft related item that is a hurdle to installation. But yeah.
That's good to know. Another question that came in here, and I think you talked about it a bit, Jeff, but just so everyone understands, if you currently own PC Matic and you own the VPN license, you have both licenses, that provides you with access to that phone number for PC Matic related issues. It doesn't even matter if you bought them together as a bundle necessarily. But if you own both of those products, you would get access to that phone support. Is that right, Jeff?
Yes, that is absolutely correct.
Okay. Great, and that's good to know because unfortunately, and we've seen some of this in some of the survey results we've received back from customers like yourselves that are logged in here today, is they don't always know what they have access to. So again, our support team can help clarify that. But the real bonus here is if you have both PC Matic and VPN, even if they're not purchased at the same time, that will give you access to that phone number for PC Matic related issues. And if you need help identifying what that number is or how to find that number, again, that's where our support team can definitely help out. So with that, we're coming up on our last 5 minutes. To wrap things up, a couple of things. When we end here today and you go to close out of your GoToWebinar console, you'll automatically see a survey that will pop up. I think it's 2, maybe 3 questions at the max. If you'll do us a favor and just take a few minutes to go ahead and answer those questions, we'd really appreciate it. It will help us decide on how we want to do these town hall sessions going forward, and give us an opportunity to think through exactly what topics we want to cover. It will also give you the option to indicate that you would like more information about a particular product that was mentioned here today. So if you'd like to know more about VPN, if you want to know more about the Support Unlimited, whatever it might be, check that box. We will see that response come through, and then we will follow up via email to you directly so that we can get you some more information, even give you a link so that you can just click on it and go right to it and purchase that product. I think everyone that attends here today, if you're looking at a particular product that you're considering upgrading to, we're going to get you a link to a discount as well as part of that upgraded purchase. So be on the lookout for that survey immediately when we close out of this. Just take a few minutes to answer those questions. We'd appreciate that. The other thing going forward is if you have questions or concerns, we obviously encourage you to reach out to our support team. They'll do an amazing job of getting you taken care of. But don't overlook the fact that over the past few years, we've really built up what we call our knowledge base of a lot of self-service support information that we have out there for you. So if you're willing to at least take the time to read through some of these things, watch a brief video, whatever the case may be, there are opportunities for you to be able to do some troubleshooting and even learn some basic how-tos through a lot of the information that's already, I believe all that information is right out there on the support side. Is that right, Jeff? We might have lost Jeff,
Yes.
but
No, I'm here. Yes.
yeah.
Yep. That's
Okay.
exactly right.
Perfect. So if you're waiting to hear back from our support team and you want to at least take that initial step to try to figure out an answer to a question, there are a lot of opportunities to be able to access that information. John even pointed out the fact that a lot of that information is built into the application itself as well too. So look for that. The very last thing, and then we'll get signed off. On usually about every 2 weeks now, we're doing webinars with something we call the Cyber Scam Report. It's a new series we've put together where we've worked with consultants from the FBI, the Secret Service, CISA, you name it, to identify some of the latest and greatest scams that are going on out there, online scams in particular. And you may have received an email invite for this in the past. You may have seen them promoted on Facebook. These are absolutely free, and they are available on replay as well. So if you want to go to our YouTube page, the PC Matic YouTube page, you'll see a lot of those posted. You'll see them on Facebook. You'll see them on LinkedIn. If you'd like to be a part of the live session where you're able to communicate directly to the people that are presenting, and we're bringing in subject matter experts from all over the world, you will have an opportunity to get signed up for those at absolutely no cost, and they're full of really, really good information. So be on the lookout for those. Again, look at Facebook, look at LinkedIn, check the monthly newsletters. We usually go out of our way to promote those and give you an easy way to get signed up for those. So again, we thank you for your continued support of PC Matic. 25 years in business. We take a lot of pride in what we do around here. And we take a lot of pride in our ability to communicate directly with our customers and put that feedback to work to make the product even better, to make the support even more effective. So thank you for joining us here today. Be on the lookout for that survey that's about to pop up here momentarily. And we appreciate your time. Thank you and have a great day.